What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about a crypto mining stock today, BTCM Bit Mining Limited. This one comes to us at the request of Mr. John. John, this one's for you, man. I know I just made a comment saying I'd do it, and here we are. Here we are doing it, man. I like it. You know, I honestly think I like it. I know it's gone down quite a bit since 2014. Whatever, you know. Maybe it was something else before it became a mining company. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. You can see that there's a lot of interest that came in. And where did it come in at? The all-time lows. Not the lows, the all-time lows. The most volume, the all-time volume came in at the all-time lows. And you got a real big bullish engulfing candle on the monthly that engulfs 1, 2, 3 months, almost 4 months of price action. I like it. I think it's good. I do think this is the low. If it were to come lower, it might have a double bottom. Maybe it goes slightly lower, maybe, but I don't even know if it'll go lower, man, honestly. Where could this thing go? You know, ultimately, from this high, if we were taking this last high to the current low, the all-time low, you would have double topped the 236. I would think, you know, generally that's not necessarily a good thing, but you know where you are, and this is the monthly. You could have time to come back up and test it again. The way it looks, I would think that you want to come down, but let's just see. I wonder what the RSI looks like. Yeah, whatever. You know, you do have bullish divergence. You've got low, higher low, right? And you've got low here, lower low, lower low. To a certain extent, this might not be part of the same move. Maybe you got this bullish divergence that played out already. But it is diverging to some degree. It definitely is diverging to some degree. So I don't know. I like it. I definitely like it just at a first glance. Where you could go from here, you know, immediately in the immediate term, and this is on the monthly, so this will take months, right, to achieve. It could happen in 1 month. It could happen in 8 months. It could happen more than that, you know. I would think it would happen probably before the halving of Bitcoin, but you would see this thing go at least to $11.05 and then, or $11.50. I'm sorry, that would be like the next target. Really, what you want to look for is this 42 area, $42. How it interacts with this. Does it break through it on the first pass? If it does break through it on the first pass and it comes back, finds support, you are very likely going to go to these extensions up here, which is anywhere from 157 to 1,000. Oh no, I'm sorry. 1,570 to 10,600 and something like that. Yeah, you could go anywhere in that little white box there. Any of these three lines, depending on how you interact with the 618. If you don't break through the 618 on the first pass, don't worry. Don't worry. If something like this happens, don't worry. That's normal. That does not mean by any means that this is not going to happen. It just makes it less likely than it would have been. It doesn't mean that it's less likely to happen, like it's more likely to not do that. No, it just means that, you know, if you break through this on a first pass and like found support, or you just broke through it and you maybe found support on a different line, if you break through it on the first pass period, this becomes increasingly likely to happen. I would say almost like certainly going to happen. If it doesn't, it takes it away from being certain to still likely. It's still likely. It's just not, you know, as guaranteed as it was once before. And it could go, you know, if we reject it, you could go to the 0.5 and then go from there. You could go to the 382 and then go from there. You could even go all the way back to the 236 and go from there. What you'd really want to see, though, if you rejected the 618, is on that second pass, you'd want to see it break it. You would definitely, regardless of what line it finds its bottom on. And it might not even find a bottom on any of these lines. It could do it in between, whatever. It might test resistance here, hug it, and then break through, whatever. What you'd really want to see, though, again, is on the second pass, you would want to see it break through. You don't want to see it do this and then do that, because then you would more likely find resistance up here. Again, that doesn't mean that you're not going to see these prices inevitably. You still could, but then I would say it changes from being likely to a maybe. You know what I mean? And what you'd want to see at this point, if you were to have multiple rejections on the 618, what you'd want to see at this point, and I'm just drawing, it probably won't happen like this. If it does, cool. I didn't mean to predict the future. But if it does happen like this, what you'd want to see, if it were, it would very likely something like this. Why is it not giving it? Come on now. It would very likely go to the 786 or the 886. I'm going to give it the 886 for a deep retracement. And then what you'd want to see from there, because it would likely reject off of one of these areas, you'd want to see support on the 618. If you can get support on the 618, I would say you go from being a maybe to likely again, not a definite, right? The definite, or like, and there's nothing that's definite, man. But the one that's the most likely, the thing that's the most reassuring would be to break through it on the first pass. And if you broke through it on the first pass and you came back below it, whatever, that's cool. I would still say that you're just as likely to go up there. But again, this would be the longer road to getting to the same place. What you'd want to see is get above the 618 either on the first pass or the second pass. You don't want to be in a third pass scenario. It's not condemning. Again, you'd still be likely to go higher from $42 all the way up to $186 potentially. That's still incredible. You know what I mean? But from $4 to $186 or $4 to potentially $10,000, which one would you take? You know what I mean? I know which one I'd want. So I would look for either option A or option B, not option C here. That's what my interpretation would be. This is all on the monthly, so let's actually dive in and see what this bad boy looks like. We do have a little temporary double top, it looks like. Even on a closing basis, yes, we did close a little bit higher. This week was off to a bearish start, but this doesn't look like a bad week so far. You are rejecting very common areas in the RSI to reject. It would be nice if this week could close green and you can get into the overbought zone. That would really show your signs of strength. That'd be really nice to see. But man, yeah, you were held down by this 50, but you hugged it. You didn't reject the bearish zones. This thing wanted to show strength, and it did. It has. It's definitely shown its strength. But what you need to do now, because you're at a point in time where you might be having a lower high, you want to hold this higher low structure too. So you really wouldn't want to go too much below like 245. You wouldn't want to go below that at all, really, because then this would, if you went below 245, this would definitely be a double top of sorts, and you would likely go back down at least down here, and in hopes of forming a double bottom. Which from here, 140, 399 doesn't seem like a big drop, in dollar terms, but that's a 63% drop, so that would not be ideal. You know what I mean? So if you were to turn around from here, what you'd want to see is probably a bounce. And I drew little crappy lines here, but you wouldn't want to go below 240, 245, something like that on a weekly basis, especially. I like the RSI. I think you're in areas of strength. I think the way that the chart looks so far, you opened up the week to the downside and you're coming up already. Most of this week is already a wick. There is still 3 days left in this week, so a lot can happen. It could definitely end up closing red, but at the way that it's looking right now, man, I would expect that you close this thing actually higher than the previous week. Maybe you don't go above this, maybe you do, maybe you have a dramatic close higher. I don't know. Let's keep looking at it. Long-term RSI, you are below the 50. There's not really enough time. Oh yeah, there's enough time. Okay, so below the 50, you are a ways away from the purple line though, so it's really not uncommon to make your stride back up around there, especially when breaking out from lows. To a certain degree, this kind of looks like a ascending triangle. Looking at it, right? It kind of looks like an ascending triangle. This is inherently a bullish pattern. It's commonly a bottoming pattern or a continuation pattern, but I feel like I normally see it as a bottoming pattern, not a continuation pattern. But I have seen it plenty of times as a continuation as well. But yeah, man, you 236'd it, 0.069'd it. You're technically you haven't even actually rejected the 236. If you were to break through it right now, this rejection would go away. So this doesn't look half bad, I have to say, honestly. The next move I would say that it wants to go to is probably around 1154, somewhere around there, if not higher. But I would think that's the first stop. And if you look back, we had a little bounce off of this area too, even. Let's keep looking at this thing. Let's go on the daily, check it out. Check it out. By the way, actually, before we do that, I just want to see what's the market cap of this thing. Can it go to $10,000? What's the market cap of this thing? 42.89 million. Yeah, this could go to $10,000. It could. It's a very far stretch. But as far as market cap goes, it's got that potential. Let's see here. From the current price all the way up to where that 618 is at $10,600. Oh, buddy. Whoa, man. That is insane. You probably wouldn't see this in like one cycle. It would probably take years to achieve this, right? If it was to ever achieve this. But that's a 2,600x, my friend. That's a 2,600x. That's insane. And it's possible that it could do that. It's also possible that it never gets above this 350 level. So don't start drilling too soon. Anybody out there, don't start drilling too soon because there's still a lot of work. There's still a lot of things that need to happen before that even comes into play. We're not looking at that yet. Yes, we can dream, but our dreams are far from being realized. That's for sure. But damn, man, is that even possible? A 2,000x. So like a 10x would be 400 million. A 100x would be 4 billion, and a 1000x would be 40 billion. Yeah, 2000x, that would put it around $100 billion. That is an achievable market cap in the stock world. That is an achievable market cap. It tends to be very big companies that see $100 billion or multi-$100 billion market caps. I think I did my math right on that, right? If it's 42 million, 10x would be 400 million, 100x would be 4 billion. 4.2 billion, 4.3, let's say 4.3. And then a 1000x would be a 43 billion. Wait, no. I'm sorry. Did I do my math wrong? Hold on. 10x, 4.3 million. 100x, 4.4, so 430 million. Sorry. So 10x, 430 million. I'm sorry, guys. I had a brain fart. 430 million. 100x would be 4.3 billion. 1000x would be 43 billion. That's even more achievable, man. That's even more achievable. Okay, but that would be at 100x. So if it was a 200x, 260, okay, you would be over 100. That's where I came from. I'm sorry, guys. I know I did all that confusing math just to get back to the same answer I was at before. So is this possible? Could it reach a $100 billion market cap? It's totally possible, yes. If this is a legitimate company, if they make their money in the right way, do their money right, and there's enough belief in it and, whatever, then yeah. I think so. But that's a long ways away. That's not going to happen in one cycle. It could. It's possible. But I very much doubt that would happen in one cycle. More likely what you'd see would probably be this 1272, which is still insane, man. That's still a 370x. But with this kind of number, with 1000x, you could take $100, I think, and turn it, right? 100 would, a 10x would be 1,000. 100x would be 10,000. And then 1000x would be 100. You could take $100 and turn it into $100,000. Like over time, it would take a long time. But with that same kind of math, $1,000 could become $1 million in a matter of And when I say years, I mean like this could take decades. It could take decades. It could take 3 years. It could take 5 years. I don't know. But stocks move a lot slower than crypto does. That's for sure. But it's a low enough cap. It's definitely a, what do they call it, a penny stock, right? But it's got a lot of work to do before it goes there. And I know I've been lingering on this for quite a while, but that's the fibs, man. That's the fibs. That's where it is. You'd have to break all-time highs first. You'd have to break this last cycle's highs first. And before any of that, you got to break the 382. You gotta react. We gotta see how we react with the 618. You know what I mean? So there's a lot, and this is on the monthly. So there's this looks like a short amount of time. That was all the way back in 2013, the end of 2013 here. So this can take years to form, man. It really can take years to form, like decades even. So you can drool all you want, but maybe save the drool, right? Put it in a deposit, a checking account. Don't check on it for 20 years. That drool might turn to gold or something like that. But it might not. It really might not. I don't know, but those are the potential price targets. I'm going to move on now. I feel like I'm just blowing smoke up everybody's ass watching this right now. So again, guys, I want to be very clear. I don't think that that's going to happen in one cycle. I don't even know. We could. I don't even know if in one cycle, by the end of this cycle, we'll reach the 1272. We might not. Maybe by the end of this cycle, this stock is somewhere around here, right? And then we have a bear market with crypto and a bear market with the stock, find support on the 618, and then the next cycle we move up here. This could, at that rate, this would take like 8 years or 6 years or something like that. It would take like 6 years to get to this. But still, man, a potential for a, what was it, 2000 something? 2,000 and yeah, 2,400, 600, 2,700x almost. I could wait 8 years for that. That's not bad at all. $100 becomes $270,000. Yeah. I think it's worth the risk. And again, back to that kind of point about risk, man. With that low amount of money, it's got such a low valuation right now that if you wanted to make serious money with this thing over time, you don't have to put a lot of money into it, and you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. I mean, if you want to, if you believe in it, something that I don't, go for it. But I wouldn't. This is not the kind of stock that you bet the farm on, or you put your life savings in. You know what I mean? Like you take, it's got high reward potential, but with that comes high risk too. So this thing could just as easily, it's gone down its whole life. This thing could just as easily form a lower high, as it's been doing, and then go lower than this even inevitably. So as bullish as I made everything sound, be aware. This goes in with risk management. If there's a high reward, you don't risk a lot amount, right? That's basic right there. So yes, this thing does potentially have a bright future, but we have a lot of work to do before any of those numbers come up. I'm just trying to bring you back to earth. Anybody who we might have lost to space for a second there. Looking at, but those are still, I mean it, those are possible prices. It definitely could. A $42 billion market cap is totally achievable in the stock world, guys. Something happens, they really invest into Bitcoin mining, they hit it big somehow, some way. I don't know, like a lot can happen. A bigger company takes interest in them, buys them out. There's a whole list of things that could happen. That would take it to those levels. Bitcoin has a dramatically fantastic bull market. I don't know. Looking at the daily RSI, getting back to earth here, guys, we are showing signs of bullish strength. We are definitely showing signs of bullish strength. Especially if this day, if we can close this week without having a day below the 60, we rejected the overbought zone, but we held this area. We could get another test into it. I feel like that's not too common, but let's see. I think we have. No, we don't have, or yes, we do. We have hidden bullish divergence at the moment. And it kind of looks like we're in like this temporary little like upward sloping like channel, if you want to call it that, right? Like we're kind of in this little upward sloping channel. We're at the bottom of it, so it definitely could go higher. The day itself, it wasn't like completely bullish of a day. It wasn't bearish by any means, though, but coming up here and kind of rejecting this area, I don't know if I like that, but I do like the RSI. Long-term RSI is below the 50. It is below the 50, and you are above the purple line. Generally, that's not a good setup, and I do feel like this does respect the purple line. You can see it held support, held resistance, held a lot of support. You had a little disrespect here, but most of this range where it disrespected, it was only 1, 2, 3, 4 days of just psyching out all of the other stuff. This line seems to be respected, so maybe it's not a good time to buy on the daily, as bullish as this does look, because again, I do think coming into the overbought zone, coming out of it, coming back into it like this, I wouldn't expect that we'd go back into it right now without at least having this RSI cool off a little bit more. It doesn't have to go lower. It doesn't have to go down to the 50, but I would kind of expect that. If not, it looks like it likes to hang out right around like 57 to 60, so at least somewhere down there and maybe chill, and then we can talk about going back up again. But the daily does make me a little hesitant in the immediate term time frames. Where would I look for this thing to go? From the low to high, this one, yeah, it could go back down to $3.15. Sure, it could go lower than that even. It's totally possible. Let's give this thing an honest look. Let's see what it did last time actually. From bottom to, come on, man, I don't know what is going on with TradingView here. Bottom to top, yeah, you went below the 618. You held it. You basically held it. On this fib, from this kind of structure, if you were to go to the 382, that's not totally uncommon. And you actually could, it's not uncommon to wick below it even and close above it, but wick below it. That could take you to that $3.15 range that I was talking about. This previous kind of topping area right here, $3.15, right? Isn't that's it's like $3.10, whatever, somewhere in that area. If not, you could tip like the $3.25, $3.26 range. So I would say from here, if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, if I was a betting man, I would believe that you go anywhere from like, let's say $3.07, $3.08 to like $3.26, somewhere in that range, right? Probably the previous areas where you found resistance, confirm it as support, and then make your strides higher. So will that happen this week that we go that low? Maybe. Will it happen next week? Maybe. Could we go that low tomorrow and then bounce up and finish the week above this week? It could happen, but regardless, I do think that we are going to go lower from here in the short term. If I was to want to buy this thing, which I kind of want to, right? Looking at it before, it kind of makes me want to buy it. I'm not going to lie. Maybe throw a little bit of money in there, but I wouldn't buy it here. I wouldn't be buying it here. If I'm wrong, cool, whatever. I can be wrong, and you can still buy it at a very low price of $4.40. If you can get a daily close above 437, where you found resistance here, you found resistance here, and on the weekly even, right? You had similar areas of resistance, or maybe it was the monthly that you had. Maybe not. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it was the daily. If you can close above $4.37 on a daily, then I would say that that's the safer buy. You could buy here and it could ultimately pay off, but I think with the way that this looks right now, I think this was a top. I think you do go lower. It's totally normal. It's not a bad thing. You will likely form another higher low somewhere in this trajectory, and maybe you go below the purple line a little bit, maybe you don't, whatever, and then you go back up, something like that. But I do think you go lower. And again, if you were to buy here and it doesn't go lower and it goes up, you might feel smart. But if you bought here and it went down, you'd feel dumb. So the difference between being smart and dumb is really just the outcome in this position. I would say instead of being smart or dumb, be safe. That's my opinion. And the safe move would be either not buy until we break above that daily close there. I guess it's 440 actually. Sorry, 440. Is that right? Let me just make sure I got it on there. No, it was 437. Okay. Because I got my magnet on. It's locked to the closing point. Anyways, I think it locked to the high of that day. That's what the 440 was. But the closing point's 437. So if you get a close above 437, green light. If not, and probably not, I would say that you're more likely to go, again, somewhere around 315. I would say anywhere between 315 and 326, somewhere in that range, the previous topping range. And you could even go below 315. It's not totally, maybe you go down to $3. It's not totally out of the blue. But would I suggest buying it here about 30% higher than that? No, that's not my opinion. That's not what I would do. And whatever my suggestions are, be damned, because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't pretend to be. I don't presume that anybody thinks I am. If you do, that's not at all what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm just giving you my opinions and how I would treat it. You know what I mean? So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.